Our greatest strength as a species is our intelligence. It has carried us from civilization to civilization, from the early days of scavenging bushes, picking apart edible berries from poisonous ones, to launching multiple spaceships into outer space. Our ability to learn has allowed us to emerge as the rulers of this world, but the way in which we learn is limited, and as technology advances, the approach we take towards obtaining our education will become obsolete, making way for a new approach, one that could put our entire existence into question and elevate us to a level that would make even the greatest achievements today look like child's play in the future. Fundamentally, there are three limitations with the way in which we learn. The first is speed. How fast can we learn? The second is our capacity to learn. How much can we learn in our lifetime? And finally, the third is memory. How much have we forgotten about what we've learned? Although these limits vary from person to person, the general consensus is that it takes about 10,000 hours to master any meaningful kind of skill, like making music, or playing a sport, or theorizing in quantum physics. That's roughly 10 years when you're working 20 hours a week in developing a skill, and you only have so many decades in a lifetime. We spend a huge chunk of our lives in school learning about things that we soon start to forget once the courses are over. Traditional schooling has been around for centuries, and despite the advancements in technology, it has largely been unchanged. Just like over a millennia ago, today, students will still largely find themselves in a class listening to a teacher giving a lecture about something. This is how we learn in the current world. That's going to change with technologies emerging like Neuralink, which will challenge the way we learn. Neuralink is a brain-machine interface that is being developed by Elon Musk. It is basically a coin-sized chip that would be surgically inserted into your skull with very thin needles injected into your brain, and that would allow you to communicate with computers from just your thoughts. As extreme as it sounds, Elon Musk is aiming to make this be a safe and affordable procedure, costing maybe a few $1,000s and being able to complete the surgery in under an hour without any general anesthesia.
The link procedure, the installation of a link, done in under an hour. So you can basically go in the morning and leave the hospital in the afternoon. And it can be done without general anesthesia.
I've left some links in the description below if you'd like to learn more about the specifics of that technology. What I find both exciting and scary about Neuralink is that by making us part computer, it extends our ability to learn to something that appears to be limitless. If you think back to the three limitations that I mentioned earlier, speed, capacity, and memory, you'll notice that all three limitations are addressed by augmenting ourselves with computers. Computers bring us tremendous speed. They can process data on the order of microseconds, which gets faster every year and is magnitudes faster than anything we can consciously process in our brains today. This would allow us to read entire books in what it would have taken weeks in a matter of seconds. Imagine devouring an entire library's worth of knowledge in a few minutes. Now, of course, just because you read a book or learn something new today doesn't mean that you'll remember it later on. That's the memory limitation. With the anatomy that we have right now, there's a physical limit to how much we can learn and remember. That physical limit is based on the size of our skull, which has grown quite a lot since our evolution from apes, and have since reached its limit due to birth constraints.
And we have not been able to expand it for 2 million years because we have this fixed enclosure. That was very clever.
Our heads are not getting bigger because you kill the mother being born, and it's a bloody mess. So I think we've maximized the size of our head.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Given the size of the birth canal.
That's the reason that we've not been able to expand it anymore. In fact, it was quite a challenge to expand it 2 million years ago.
Even to what we have today.
Yeah.
We can't make our skulls bigger to learn more things, but computers can add extra external hard drives to store terabytes more of data. And when we connect to the cloud, there is a seemingly limitless amount of storage available to us. Cloud computing is a software engineering term often coined as being a collection of computers communicating with each other over the internet to offer services. When it comes to storage, whenever more space is needed, we'd simply just add another computer to the network. On a high level, this is how Dropbox and Google Drive work, and this would also allow us to overcome that memory limitation in our skulls.
We couldn't keep expanding our skulls, or birth would have become impossible. But when we connected wirelessly to the cloud's pure information technology, it's not limited by a fixed enclosure. It's going to keep growing exponentially.
We all know how powerful of a resource the internet is. So powerful that it's actually already made us cyborgs, according to Elon Musk.
We are, all of us already are cyborgs. So you have a machine extension of yourself in the form of your phone and your computer and all your applications. You are already superhuman. But by far, you have more power, more capability than the President of the United States had 30 years ago.
With an internet connection, our computers allow us to tap into the knowledge and expertise others have shared online at the click of a button. Whether it's a blog post, a YouTube video, or a podcast, with Neuralink, you'll be able to access and consume this information magnitudes faster on the level of a thought. With a Neuralink chip, we no longer need to study. Ever. We don't need to read books or work hard on math problems because we are part computer, and now it's more about getting information quickly rather than exerting the effort to learn something. And if that's the way things will be, then it no longer makes any sense spending years of your life going to school. Which then begs the question, if obtaining knowledge and mastering skills becomes so easy and effortless, would we be venturing into a world where everyone is an Einstein? If you're able to consume and retain decades of information like you're just downloading software on a computer, then wouldn't everyone be walking around with a PhD in astrophysics, culinary skills on the level of Gordon Ramsay, and capable of singing like Beyonce? Maybe, assuming all that knowledge and expertise is still free for us to consume. At this point, all we can do is speculate. Maybe we'll have a marketplace for buying software that you can download to your brain to master skills.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry. Let's go.
Although all of this sounds like something in a science fiction movie, many renowned engineers believe it will all happen in our lifetime, likely within a few decades. Elon Musk estimates Neuralink to be ready for mass market consumers within 10 years, and Ray Kurzweil, someone who has made very accurate future technological predictions since the 80s, predicts that we will reach the technological singularity by 2029 and evolve as a species by 2045.
You do the math, and these trajectories are quite predictable and have been. I mean, I've been making forward-looking predictions since the early 80s, and it's continued to pan out. We will multiply our intelligence a billion-fold by 2045. That's such a profound transformation, such a singular transformation, that we borrow this metaphor from physics and call it the singularity.
It's hard to predict what future lies beyond this singularity, which is the point in time at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible. Whether or not these estimations are accurate, what we can say from looking back at our history is that tech is evolving at an accelerated pace and will lead us to a future that makes many things that we are doing today obsolete. What achievements could we make if such a future with Neuralink were to arise? Would we be able to upload our memories into robots and achieve immortality? Maybe we'll finally advance from a Type 1 civilization to a Type 3, capable of interstellar space travel to distant galaxies. Put your ideas in the comments below, and if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.